So I'll start today's class. Today I will be talking about a topic known as cladistics. Cladistics, and along with cladistics, an important thing which you study, that is the study of phylogenetic trees. So what is cladistics? Cladistics is actually, it is a method for hypothesizing relationships among organisms. So hypothesizing मतलब अनुमान for us. That is what you mean by hypothesizing. Okay, and in other words, this means construction of phylogenetic trees or evolutionary trees. So basically you hypothesize or make assumptions, logical assumptions based on certain facts. So like you know, to show the relationship between organisms, you use certain characters, right? Certain traits. You use certain traits. And these traits, predominantly in former times, were morphological, anatomical. You could use physiology, biochemistry, people use ecology or your surroundings, what their surroundings are. Then ethology, that is animal behavior. And in modern times, they use molecular biology, they use genetics, and very important, some sequencing data. That is a part of molecular biology. Some sequencing data, and specifically what they use is ribosomal DNA sequence of organisms. 5S are DNA. They form a ribosomal RNA after transcription. So based on this sequence, that is the best way nowadays. 5S ribosomal DNA. Based on this sequence, similarities, like for example, you list 10 characters. Animal A, animal B, they have got 10 characters common, 5 characters not common. And you say that, okay, 5 common, 10 not common. So the distance between them is so much. Some have got 13 characters common, 2 uncommon. They are much more closer. Even in the sequence between two organisms, the number of DNA sequences matching. Suppose you have 100 nucleotides in ribosomal RNA, something like that. And you find that within this 100 nucleotides, you find that in organism A and organism B, they have got 60 common. 60 of them same, 40 not same. Then you again see organism C, in that you find 80 common. So organism A and organism C, they are much closer to each other than organism A and organism B, which have got 60 factors common. So on this basis, and from evidence from your ancestors, right, from your ancestors, or you assume an ancestor, or from fossil records, you can construct a evolutionary tree, ancestor to descendants. Let us consider birds and avian, non-avian dinosaurs. Out of them, I consider 1, 2, please, and crocodiles. Non-avian dinosaurs are dinosaurs which did not have power of flight, like Archaeopteryx. They are non-flight bird. So you can clearly say that the bird is an outlier because none of the others can fly. Birds have got wings, that is flight, and feathers. And this type of a character among the organisms which are studied, birds, avian, non-avian dinosaur 1, 2 and 3 and crocodiles, you see that birds have got one additional character, that is wings and feathers, which they don't have. Dinosaurs don't have wings and feathers. So this type of character is known as apomorphic character. This type of character is known as apomorphic character. Then you see, take characteristics between birds and avian dinosaur 1 and see that they have got 90 characters common. Say for example, do a DNA sequencing, find 90 characters common. So you draw a line close. Then birds and number 2, you see, they have got 80 characters common, but so they are much far away from each other. Number 3, they have got 70 characters. They are much far away from birds and number 3. Okay. So they are even further away. And crocodiles, they are farthest away. Maybe they have got 50 characters common with birds. Okay. And so they are the distant. And what they assume is that between birds and they are common, they must have had a common ancestor here. I am calling them as small a, and this had a and among this one birds and 1 and 2, they had another common character known as B, ancestor. Then among 3 and birds, you had one more common, C, and common ancestor of all of birds, avian dinosaurs and crocodiles, this number D. So A, B, C, D, they are hypothetical, that is अनुमान लगाया गया, hypothetical ancestors of birds 1, 2, 3 and crocodiles. ঠিক আছে? Clear? You can call A as the common ancestor of অনুমান করা হচ্ছে হাইপোথিসিস দিয়ে। ancestor, common ancestor is the common ancestor of birds and number 1. B is the common ancestor of birds 1 and number 2. C is the common ancestor of birds 1, 2 and number 3, and D is the common ancestor of birds 1, 2, 3 and crocodiles. Clear? And this type of a tree which you have constructed is known as evolutionary tree or phylogenetic tree. And this diagram is known as cladogram. This cladogram is a diagram which depicts ancestral relationships among organisms. It is a diagram depicting ancestral relationships among organisms. Please. Diagram depicting ancestral relationship among organisms. হয়ে গেছে? মুছে দিই। Now let us look at a structure of a phylogenetic tree. Let us have 5 species. Species A, I am drawing them like this: B, C, D and E. You are studying these 5 species and trying to construct a phylogenetic tree based on their characteristics, similarities in characters and not dissimilarities in characters. Who is more close to each other? More number of similar characters close to each other, less number of similar characters far away from each other, in this manner. So let's draw this relationship like this. Immediately from this diagram, you know A and B are close to each other, C and D are close to each other, B and C are not that close to each other, and E is far away from all the others. Right? A line tech nature is the most common. So now these are known as species of interest. And here, say small a, small b, small c, small d, small b, small c and small c. They are hypothetical ancestors. You are making a hypothesis that they may have had a common ancestor. You may have a fossil record or you may not have. So D existed a long time back. That divided into one line which made E and one line which gave the hypothetical ancestor C. Then C divided into 2 lines, one which gave the line for small a and one which gave the branch for small b. So you have your ancestors in the time frame. Ancestors are more towards this side, and you gradually time passes and you come to present day species. Now these dots, they are known as branch points. And these lines, they are known as branches. Next, there is a term known as MCRA. And that means most common recent ancestor, MCRA. On the basis of the similarities, A and B are very close, they have many similar characters. So they have drawn a line to assume that there was a common ancestor for A and B. Some years back, some million years, say for example, back. And small a is the MCRA for A and B. Clear? Even when you talk in the case of C and D, you can assume B to be the most common recent ancestor of, because C and D have similar characteristics. C and D or C and A have less similar characteristics. তাই জন্য তাদেরকে আরেকটু দূরে রেখেছে. They have been kept a bit far away. আরো পিছিয়ে দিয়েছে. যখন ওরা ভাগ হয়েছে ওরা হয়তো আরো কয়েকশো বছর আগে, অনেক শো বছর আগে. এবারে মজার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে, either way, now to find relationship between C, B and A on the basis of similarity, it is assumed that there must have been a common ancestor for C, for AB and CD, and that goes a bit behind, and that is also the common ancestor for small a and small b, and that is C. This is the MCRA for AB and CD. A, B, C and D. Similarly, D is the MCRA for species A, B, C, D and E. Clear? So this is how a phylogenetic tree is constructed on the basis of more number of similar characters or less number of similar characters. More number of similar characters, they are placed close together in one branch. Less, maybe they are placed comparatively in another branch. And this is all hypothetical. Now this is a tree. Now if I draw this tree like will it give the same meaning? মানেটা এক থাকবে? Relationships between organisms. If I draw it, instead of this, I have turned it like this, 90 degrees in a counterclockwise direction. Is it the same? Huh? কেন? You are studying relationship between organisms. Okay? You are studying relationship. It doesn't matter how the line looks. এখানেও you see that A and B are close together, C and D are close together, A and B, C and D, they have got a bit far away from each other. The pattern is the same, relationship distance is also the same, and E is also the same. It's the same. The relationship status doesn't change, even if it is drawn like this. Is also the same thing. Relationship pattern doesn't change. It's the way you are drawing the tree. Now I am going to do a different thing. No, I don't put it now. Is this tree the same? কেন? কি বদলেছে? Same तो? क्यों? What has changed? यहाँ पे भी तो AB ज्यादा करीब था. नीचे वाला लाइन देखो ना. Same. It's the relationship between organisms has not changed. You are pretuned to thinking A comes before B. बट नंबर ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स कुछ चेंज हुआ, ए एंड बी का कैरेक्टर चेंज हुआ या सी और डी का कैरेक्टर चेंज हुआ? इट्स जस्ट द सेम. नाउ व्हेन इफ यू ड्रॉ इट लाइक, now अब तो चेंज हुआ बिकॉज ए एंड सी हैज कम, दे हैव गॉट मोर सिमिलर कैरेक्टर. ये पूरा दिस इज अ डिफरेंट हाइपोथेसिस. क्लियर? Now last thing I'll be going. These questions come in your exam. That is, what is monophyletic, polyphyletic, paraphyletic? Now I will draw the same thing again. এখানে কি আছে A B C D একটা. It's a line I am drawing, for relationship. আচ্ছা B থেকে F G H. I am drawing an evolutionary tree. 3 জায়গা. Again I am drawing this over here. Now, as per the evolutionary species concept, a species is a single ancestor descendant line. So, according to this concept, this is one single line. Okay? According to this evolutionary species, this can be considered a single line. Clear? So when you consider this much only, all of them come from B. So this type of B, B, C, E, G, H, C, F and B, all of them can be considered, the area of studies here, they are considered monophyletic. When you are considering them like that. But when you are only considering E and G, only E and G, you are considering only E and G. Both of them have got two different origins, ancestors. One is C and one is F. ঠিক আছে? So this is known as E and G, only E and G. This is also only E and G. They are considered now. You have considered this as monophyletic. B. Now if you are taking A, this you are considering one phylum, monophyletic. Okay. But A has got different branch points which you are not considering. So this line is known as paraphyletic. A has given one line, this is monophyletic, and the other line which other line or lines are then considered as paraphyletic, depending upon when A is the ancestor. You have considered this to be monophyletic, phylum. They all are coming from A. ठीक है? You are considering this into your equation of study. That is considering them monophyletic. Or this is monophyletic. This is coming from A. You are considering this to be mono. But B has got as ancestor A, and A has given rise to another line. It is giving rise, and this line is paraphyletic. ঠিক আছে? আজ এখানে থাকো, একটা কাগজে তোমাদের নামটা লিখে দাও, কারা কারা এসছো। আমি সরে গেলে ভালো হয়।